In this video, are we talking about sociolinguistics? Now, if we think about the meaning of socio, society, and linguistics, so it's kind of like how linguistics relates to society, okay? So different people in different positions in society speak differently. That can depend on your social class, your level of education, your gender, your age, the topic you're discussing, the clothes you are wearing, or the environment where you are. So let's have a think about how those things can affect the way we speak. So maybe people who come from a more economically privileged background might speak in one way, whereas people that might not have had, may not be so economically fortunate and come from a lower social class might speak in a different way, right? Now, often class and education are related, unfortunately. It's often the case that people from higher social classes have access to better education and stay in education for longer. It's not always the case, but usually it is. And it's usually the case that people from lower social classes, from less economically privileged backgrounds, don't go to such good schools and don't spend as long in education. So that can also affect the way they speak. Now, gender, male, female, and all the other genders in between, those two kind of binary extremes, also affect the way people speak. So women don't usually speak the same as men, right? So, for example, if you think about the diminutive morphology, for example, salsita, cochecito, ratito, yeah? It's been shown in studies that these features of language are actually more common among women than they are among men. Age, younger people, younger generations speak differently from older generations, right? The topic, the thing you're talking about can have an impact on the way you speak. So, for example, if you're talking about some academic topic, even if you're talking to the same people, or if you're talking about politics, even if you're talking to the same people in the same place, you might speak differently than if you were talking about your new boyfriend or new girlfriend or whatever, right? Dress, the clothes you are wearing. So, for example, you can even do this experiment yourself. I mean, if you're wearing formal clothes, you're wearing a suit or something like that, or you're wearing a dress, it might affect the way you speak. If you're wearing shorts or if you're wearing jeans and t-shirt, and the environment, you could talk about the same things with the same people in a fancy restaurant, or you could talk about the same things with different people in la cafeteria de la facultad, and the way you would speak would probably change, even if you're talking about the same topic, right? But a big problem for sociolinguistics is that the same people speak differently in different situations. So it's not the case that each individual in the world always speaks the same way no matter what. People are language chameleons. What do we mean by that? Well, we adapt to circumstances. The way we speak changes depending on numerous factors. And that's a big problem for sociolinguistics, because it may be the case that women use ito or ita more frequently than men, but do all women do that? And do all women do that in all social situations, right? So it's not the case that we just all speak the same way all the time. Now, group identity. Think about some of these phrases. A los chavorrucos siempre dicen. Los chavorrucos siempre dicen, sorry. So it's like, and then we think about these kind of associated phrases, these associated, forms of speech, right? So in this case, a los chavorrucos siempre dicen, is kind of a group identity. And you, for example, if you see something on Facebook and it says, si tú dices, te tengo una mala noticia, eres un chavorruco, ¿no? A los fresas les encanta decir, and then, for example, the fact that they might use words in English. For example, es que fuimos a un lugar super nice, ¿no? Con ese outfit y ese lipstick te ves muy fashion, even when, fashionable is the adjective, right? You can't say you look fashion, you could say you look fashionable, yeah? or you could say, I want to study fashion, right? So that's another case where group identity and las mujeres siempre dicen, blah, blah, okay? So these sort of generalizations are kind of what sociolinguistics is all about, okay? Well, as always, guys, I hope this was interesting and useful.